This episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming is brought to you by Hoberg Productions, the developers of Gunman Clive. Thank you, Bertel Hoberg, for letting us give away a copy of the most fantastic game on the Switch, Gunman Clive. Over to you, Risky the Kid. Get this show going. Yee-haw! Pew, pew, pew.
Welcome to episode 39 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week are my co-hosts, Doc, H1X1.
Hey, what's up?
And the Apex legend himself, Mr. Chocolate Bear.
I am an Apex legend.
Yeah, we've heard about it all week. And in our rotating fourth chair, community member, Chaotic.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to the show, man. How you been?
Glad to.
Been great. All right, first up, this is our Patreon episode. So, we need to draw a winner for our Patreon giveaway.
Hold on 1 second. Let me just enter in payment info. Okay, now you can do it.
Is this Doc H2X2? I don't have a clever name for your
Oh, do we
account.
have a new patron? That's cool.
What?
Cool. All right. Well, good luck to him.
All right, the names are in the randomizer. Can I get a drum roll, please?
I can't even do one.
Couldn't do it with one hand either.
Man, that was... Here we go. Viva Lay Sweeney. I feel like you just won something. I think we're giving
I
him
can
too
tell
much.
Chocolate is super excited.
Is that quiet, muffled clap, Chocolate?
Yeah. What? Remember, it's really late over here. It's almost midnight.
Oh, so you couldn't do the loud drum roll. I'm sorry.
No, and I failed miserably rolling my tongue.
So congrats to Viva Lay Sweeney. Get a hold of me and we'll get you something nice, like a brand new video game. But if you don't get to me, we're just going to give your winnings to the next person. So hopefully listen to this episode.
Clocks are ticking.
That's how that should
TikTok?
work, right?
Give it to Doc H2X2.
That's where it's going to go. Yep.
Seems like a good guy.
Next, we do have a survey running currently, just a survey about the podcast. I mentioned it last week, so I'm just letting you guys know you have one more week if you'd like to submit some feedback through the survey. A link to the survey is in the show notes, and we'll also push it out on Twitter. It's in our Discord. All that good stuff. So go check that out and give us some feedback because we love feedback. Next, do we have a Pod Wars update, Chocolate, or is this something we didn't remove?
This may have been something I didn't remove from the document. Oops.
All right, so Pod Wars, stay tuned. When we have a date when we're gonna play, we'll let you know. The next game is Griffball. That's all we got.
Should be in the next couple of weeks, hopefully. I need to speak to Gin Doctor and Professor Pluto so we can just finally wipe the floor with them.
Chin did not appreciate the positive Griffball talk me and 1,000 and a few others were having in the Discord.
It's like, oh, you guys play this? Oh,
he was like, yeah, he's like, what?
Yeah, so keep your eyes out for that. Anyways, let's get going with the show. Another week in gaming. What have we all been playing? One thing, we can start with this, actually. We had our first ever Cross Atlantic Gaming community play this past week. It was on Friday. I think 12 people showed up. It was a good turnout. Pretty good, right? 12?
It wasn't bad. It was a mauling at one point or
Let's
another.
not mention the UK-US.
Oh, yeah, let's start with the UK-US. So
USA.
we had a few game modes in mind, and at one point Chocolate was like, well, we need to do a UK-US, and then
Yeah.
probably said a bunch of, like, we're the best. Chocolate, do you remember the final score of that game we played?
No, I don't. I think I blacked out, quite literally.
Oh,
I think you guys totaled, like, 6 kills, maybe.
It's
Yeah,
bad,
we
you know. It's bad. The only stat that I remember for that game is that Dampod went 26-0.
so wait.
Forever ingrained in my head.
So Dampod literally outscored the entire UK team
but like 3 times over.
3 times
Yeah.
over. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
He was
bad.
the cheat code. He was the cheat code.
He was our cheat code. Yeah, those weren't the best teams. But, I mean, we didn't just play UK versus US. We did a little blackout. That was kind of rough. They don't have a lot of customization options, like controlling circle, that kind of stuff. So if you died early, you were just kind of
It was a
hanging
long
out.
wait.
Right, and it's like every game, everyone's watching until the very end, so it was like you played a full game. So it could be like 20 minutes or whatever if you just not playing. So that wasn't great. So we played a lot of team deathmatch, and then towards the end of the night, we just ended up dropping at like just cargo docks or just turbine or something, and then you just couldn't go out of that area, and then you'd have to fight it out in circle, even if circle came, so you just couldn't leave. That made it a lot quicker, and I wish we had done that earlier in the night because ending the night like that was a lot of fun.
That was a much better way of doing it for us, I think.
Yeah,
I also-
100%.
Isn't that
Did-
kind of just team deathmatch at that point, though?
No,
Well,
the,
I mean, it's every man for themselves.
Oh,
still.
you're right. Yeah, I guess that's true. Free for all.
The
Yeah.
one
And
that
you
we
still
done on
have
the
to go
yacht
loot.
was by far the best. The one.
Oh god, that was done so quick as well. I think that was like a 3-minute match, wasn't it?
Yeah, at the most. It's landing 12 people on that is just so absurd.
How many people missed as well? There was quite a few that missed the boat, and I wasn't one of them.
That's true. So that was the other thing is we'd have to like pick locations depending on where the plane was going because people couldn't get to certain places. Like at one point, we were like, all right, we're going to go to Six Pack. And then you just hear Ryan. He's like, God, I'm in the firing range. Oh, you're like 3 miles away from us.
Right by it.
I think you're going to win this one.
I didn't like the fact that when you die, you can only watch the person who kills you, and you can't rotate the camera.
is
Is that
weird.
what it
No,
was?
no spectator mode.
Yeah, so they lose the spectator mode. I can understand the whole possibly you'll cheat,
Right.
some, but if you're in a private match, you're in a private match, so
Well-
you're with your friends or.
I
Yeah,
kind of
I
I
agree.
wonder why they don't have it for solos. Because like I get it if you're in a team match, you know, you don't want to feed info back to your teammate. But if you're solo, I don't know what it hurts to have it.
Although
Yeah.
that said, 9 times out of 10 it was Dan Pod that killed me, so I usually got a pretty good viewing out of it, so
You got a good view of the action.
I can't complain.
But either way, it was a lot of fun. Definitely going to be the first of many. I think we are probably going to try to do one a month for now at least. See how that goes. I'm leaving it up to either Doc or Chocolate to arrange the next shenanigans. But
Good. 5 a.m.
just FIFA Pro Clubs.
Yeah.
Oh no,
US
that would be a
versus
fun
UK.
US
Then
UK
we'll get-
match.
We'll
Oh
get
gosh.
wiped.
Actually, we would just see how good of a video game player in general Dan Pod is. If he just picks it up and he's amazing, it's just like okay, well
God.
he's just
That
just
would
good
Could
at
you
video
imagine
games.
how embarrassing that would be?
He's
Dan
the
Pod wipes the
striker.
floor with us.
Man. But yeah, shout out to everybody that showed up for that, whether you were late or left early, no matter what. Thanks for showing up. The one thing that did kind of suck is that Super Catrix showed up and her mic wasn't working. Her like NAT settings were messed up, so she was like in a party with us but couldn't talk to us at all. It just said disconnected. So
I saw that in Discord. Yeah,
that was a
Did
bummer.
Did she ever get that worked out? Or
I don't
She
think
got.
so.
I think her husband got a new Xbox, so she's got her own one now. And I'm sure she said in Discord she managed to get it fixed.
Yeah, I think Chester fixed it
It was
by
just
buying
after
a brand new one,
Okay, cool.
maybe.
something.
Yeah.
Either way. Yeah, that was a lot of fun though. Okay. Let's go with Chaotic first. You're playing some Batman. Batman
Yes.
Arkham Asylum and City?
Well, I've completed Asylum. I
Oh,
was.
You probably got that free in Game Pass, right? Chaotic.
yeah. That was perfectly timed for the 36 hours after I had just bought it.
Is that how short it was? 36
Pretty much,
hours.
yeah. It was something like that. Yeah, it was basically in a lull between sort of now and Anthem, Division and things like that, so I just needed something to tide over. So I thought, it seems like a good waste of time trying to 100% it with the Riddler trophies. So I've done about...
That's not fun.
There's a lot on City too, man.
City's not too bad when you compare it to Asylum, not Asylum.
Oh, really? Is Asylum
Night.
actually?
No,
Or
Knight's,
Knight, okay,
Knight's the
gotcha.
worst one. So I've done about 80% on Asylum, and then I've just started City. So I think I've just met Ra's al Ghul in City, and I'm going to jump back to Asylum and probably complete that one before I crack on with City.
So you're pretty good ways in the city then. Cause, so did you do the big like sand dune fight or whatever? I guess like.
No, I've literally just got to the.
Just got to that. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
where you're doing the whole gliding through the things and landing on the
Oh
icebergs.
yeah, gotcha.
So, but I sort of flew through that to get most of the gadgets, so it makes it easier to try and get as many trophies as possible.
It all sounds terrible. I hate collecting those Riddler trophies.
It's
The only
it's
one-
on- it's only because I like the actual. I don't like the trophy parts. I like the sort of environmental ones. So, like one of the ones that springs to mind is the one for the Graysons, so the family circus, and you have to find one of the posters in the map that says Dixon's Family Circus now closed, and that's the hint. That's the solution to the clue that Riddler gives you.
Okay.
So I quite like doing those ones, but the trophies themselves can be an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, I guess that's true. There's definitely some that are better than others. It's more the only ones that stick out for me were in what was the latest one? Dark Knight or
Knight,
Yeah.
Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. It's like I did everything in that game literally except for just those trophies, and I had probably like half of them, but those are just from like finding them
There's
through the world or whatever.
500 plus in Night. I remember that for when I done it on the
Golly.
PlayStation.
And what was that all for? I mean, for your gamer score or whatever, but you also got this like true ending.
Yeah,
But
the
I watched
actual
that
Night
on
Oh
Fall.
YouTube.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
took much less time.
So it was
What
quite
was-
anticlimactic.
Not to be too spoilery, but I'm assuming the bad ending was where he walks in the mansion and it just blows up. That's the bad, quote unquote, bad ending.
Do you say no spoilers and then literally spoil the end of the game?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
she did.
Well, hey, it's not the true ending, so no, not true spoilers.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
not
that's
that.
true.
That doesn't show you the full Nightfall protocol. That's basically what you get if you don't 100% it.
I can't wait for the Netflix documentary, which shows the Riddler basically getting out of prison and then spending 2 years setting up all those trophies. Just like, it's a motivated
15
guy.
episode Netflix documentary.
How to make a Riddler or how to make a working title.
I think that's good. How to make a Riddler.
How to make a Riddler.
Good deal. Next up, let's go to Doc and I thought
You mean
it was
Legend?
Doc. Nope, I'm gonna go with Chocolate, the Apex Legend. We're not talking about Apex Legend yet, though. We're gonna talk about Wargroove, a game that I was interested in getting and
Yeah.
ended up not pulling the trigger.
What?
You didn't pull the trigger. Are you feeling okay?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me.
So, well, I was going to ask Chocolate. Like, when I talked about this last week, I didn't get the impression that you sounded that interested in it. Did you play Advance Wars back in the day?
No. So I've.
So you're
I've been-
fresh on this genre then.
Yeah, I've kind of dabbled in Command and Conquer and stuff like that, but not. That was like years and years ago. So I'm fresh off trying to play a tactical game like this. But I've been watching X1's streams of Wargroove, and I love the art style. I love the whole. You know, this unit can destroy that unit, and if you put your two pikemen together, when you attack, you get a special bonus. It just blows my mind. So I'm probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half into it on the Switch now, and it's great that you just pick up, play a couple of moves or a couple of turns, and then put it down and deal with day-to-day life. Well, sad times.
It really does. It really is a great Switch game. Like, I got it on Xbox because it's the Play Anywhere, so I thought like having it on my laptop would be nice. But I kind of wish I had gotten on Switch because it does remind me so much of just the Game Boy Advance days with like I was saying, Advanced Wars and Advance Wars 2. Like, it's just I wish they had kept making these games. Like, it's so crazy that we're just now getting another one, but it's really fun. Yeah.
It is good, and it feels it is just made for the Switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I went for it. But knowing now it's on the Xbox, I'm like, oh, should I have got it on the Xbox? But never mind.
Well, it is gonna have-
on the Switch?
Everything.
Yeah, my library's growing big time on the Switch.
Yeah, it's gonna have crossplay though eventually. So for what that's worth, we'll be able to at least play against each other. So there is that.
Oh, that'd be good.
But,
That'd be good. I can't wait.
I do have a question for you because a lot of people kind of downplay this, and it was in Advanced Wars, and I get the criticism. But have you got to the? Well, I should say this: how far in the game have you got so far?
Not
Like, what
that
was
far.
the last? Have you
So
got?
I'm probably three maps in, maybe 4 maps in.
Are you still fighting undead so far, or like the quote unquote undead?
Yes.
Okay, because you haven't got to some of what people consider like the more tedious, I guess I would put it, type of missions to where there's fog of war. And
Yeah, so I think I watched some of that on stream on Saturday. Some of
Yeah.
the units that have just come out of nowhere, like there's a unit that will do one shot kills. It's I'm
Yeah.
miles away from that though.
it is one of those things to where I do feel like they kind of artificially make the game harder than it would normally be. I don't mind it that much because like there's enough variety in the missions to where, it's just it's fine in my opinion. But I've seen a lot of like hate towards the game with those missions in the past week or so on Twitter, and I get it because like. So basically, explain it like you have a fog of war, but much like other RTS games, the computer basically doesn't, it obviously doesn't play by those rules. They know where you're at. They're doing what they're going to do. So when you're getting hit from places you can't see, or you're just walking into ambushes, or you'll have like 5 units swarm your leader unit out of nowhere, it can be frustrating for sure. But
Oh, there, that doesn't sound great, does it?
yeah,
That's-
well, that's why I was asking if you'd got to that yet, because I want to see how you how you felt about those type of missions and stuff like that. But
maybe the Switch might be going through the window.
I will say there's not a ton of those, but I would still say power through it. But
Yeah.
it's frustrating though for sure. But they had those back in the day on the old Advanced Wars too. So
Hopefully, touch wood. Like I said, I'm enjoying it at the moment, and it does do my pick up and play and then rest it down. I think No, I wasn't playing it. I just thought I was playing it in between getting shot in Blackout, but it wasn't. I was playing something else.
Was it Gunman Clive?
Gunman Clive.
There may have been a Clive, and he may have had a gun, and he may be a man.
That checks out.
But yeah, so the reason I didn't pick up Wargroove was just because the thing that I was most excited about would be playing through that campaign, just because it was developed by Chucklefish, and like I love Stardew Valley to death. They're obviously two completely different games, but I was like, all right, so I have to give it a shot at least. And then once reviews and previews and stuff started coming out, it just kind of seemed like if you weren't into the actual multiplayer and like playing against people and like setting up, like it sounds like they give you tons of tools to make custom games and custom maps and all this stuff.
There's a lot of that too, yeah, for sure.
But like if that's not what you're there for, I feel like it's kind of just going to be a waste for me. Like if it's like an 8-hour mediocre to bad campaign and that's what I'm there for, that kind of sucks. So I don't know.
It's anime as hell.
repetitive.
I'll put it to you that way too. Like as far as the story goes, yeah, it's not deep and it's kind of anime-ish, but I don't know. It's like Advanced Wars. That's the only way I know to describe it to people. Is like, did you like Advanced Wars? You'll probably like this. If not, probably not. Like,
Right. So I'll end up picking it up eventually, but I think I'll wait for a sale. It's one I can wait for, but cool. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Doc, you didn't talk about this, and I didn't talk about it last week either. But how's your farm together farm go?
I haven't gotten back into it because I'm kind of waiting to do it. To do it with more people to see who kind of gets that game or picks it up.
No one. It's just me
Yeah,
and you.
it doesn't seem like there's a the ground. The word on the ground is this game is not really picking up a lot of steam in the community. So I probably will eventually get into this. This game to me, not in a bad way, because I'm going to get plenty of hours of enjoyment out of it, because it distills what I love about Stardew into the most distilled version of it. But it does seem very phone mobile type converted to a console game. Do you get that impression at all, Risky? Like as far as
Yeah, 100%. And the
Okay,
reason
yeah,
for that
yeah.
is just because time. Well, I'll start with that. Time is supposed to pass when you're not actually like logged in or whatever. So if you have like an 8-hour crop, if you disappear for 8 hours and then log back in, it should be done or whatever.
Yeah, that's a straight up phone mechanic.
Which is literally what all the phone games are. So
Yeah,
so yes,
yeah.
this would be best on a phone, but it's not there right now. The issue I'm having on my Switch though is that time isn't passing.
Oh.
When I'm not there. So I literally have to be logged in and be in game for time to be passing, which means I can't grow any crops that take more than like 10 minutes. So
Wow. So now I've not had that problem yet on Xbox, and I want to say I even closed out of the program completely too.
and that's like I searched through Reddit, I just Googled it, and I can't find an answer to why my time isn't passing. I don't know, maybe an uninstall and reinstall might do
So is
something.
Is other people not necessarily having that same problem on the Switch?
No, I couldn't find anyone having issues like that, so
Oh crap.
I'm not positive. But literally, not having that in game breaks that game 100%.
Yeah,
so.
that's the crux of like you go in, you get all this stuff set up, you put it down, come back later kind of thing. Yeah.
Right,
totally.
and that's why I was like, this is a perfect game because this is a good. I mean, obviously, it'd be best first on mobile, but this is a good game that I could set down and pick it up every once in a while or whatever and just see how things are going and plant some new crops, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But no, it's me planting 4,000 lettuce that take 10 minutes, and that's...
And then leaving your
That's
Switch on
that.
while you go and eat something or
Right. So, yeah, I don't know. Like you said, it's definitely takes the best, like, it's just the farming from Stardew
literally.
Valley.
Yeah.
Um,
And I have to say it probably I'm sure if you get a lot of people in there, it's probably even more fun. I mean, the crux of that game, it's titled Farm Together, so I mean, I'm sure if you got like a lot of people in there, which I think you can even set the room up to where it's not only. I think I was looking through the options, and you could set it up where it's not just friends, and then you can kind of like select toggle options on what they can or can't do. People that join your farm.
yep. Exactly.
So like, you can basically set it to where you have free labor coming in there to pick everything, essentially. No joke. Because, like, if you could go through the option to be like, these people can come in, they can't plant anything, they can't do anything. All they can do is lift up vegetables out of the ground and get me money, and that's it.
just harvest and
Just
nothing
harvest. So,
else.
literally, you could set it up like that if you want. Like, for all you Harvesting Back to Nature people back in the day, the harvest sprites that would work on your farm for eggs, yeah,
That's what
there
you
you go.
are.
You're not even having to pay them eggs.
Potential there, but like you said, it should be on mobile. I don't know why
Yeah.
I was thinking about it before the podcast. Probably because I picked up my Switch and I just saw it like on the home screen or whatever. But I was like, we didn't talk about that, and we both had it. We both started up farms. We have
And didn't-
CAG Farms on Xbox and the Switch, but
CAG Farming Empire has begun, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like you. Well, for different reasons, but it just didn't. It didn't grab me like I thought it would. Honestly, I thought I would really be into that, and
I think you should just make it the next community play and then just force everyone to just harvest all your plants for you.
make my empire grow. Work.
Ugh. Well,
Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Oh, Doc, you're playing Astroneer. This game, I played a ton of this when it first came out. Is this your first dive into
No,
Astroneer?
I got it since it's been in preview program. I've checked in every few months to see how it's what they've added, stuff like that. I really like the final version of this game. It is a much less stressful version. It's okay. I'm going to say this, and people are going to be like, "You don't know what you're talking about," but it's a much less stressful version of No Man's Sky. And I get it's not the same thing. You're not constantly going around different galaxies and all this stuff, but the planet stuff about being on a planet, like building up a base and like kind of researching and doing things like that, it's a much less stressful version of that, and that's why I like it a lot. And I would argue with like the terrain, it's got terrain manipulation like No Man's Sky, but I feel like it works a little bit better in this game because the art style makes it a little bit more, look a little bit cooler, I guess I should say. I don't really know how to phrase what I'm trying to say as far as like...
No, you're right.
Yeah, versus
Makes
like No
sense to
Man's
me.
Sky looks more realistic, and it kind of can look real janky sometimes with the terrain manipulation. But I like it a lot, though. I think it's... I don't know how deep the game is. Like, I've only put probably 3 hours into the 1.0 version, but I'm enjoying the heck out of it, though. It's,
When did 1.0 come out?
super recently. I think it was last week on console. Yeah.
Huh.
It might have been earlier on PC, but I don't know.
Because I did the same thing. I got into it when it originally dropped in preview, so I literally haven't touched it since like the first few weeks after that came out. So
Yeah, I mean, I would hop back in every once in a while when they would do like a big, like, semi-major update about something they've added or whatever. But yeah, the base building stuff is really fleshed out. The whole like like mining underground and doing more stuff underground and like getting different like atmospheric gases and stuff like that. All that stuff is way more fleshed out now. And the other thing that I've never really done with that game, kind of like Farm Together, is that game's really built on the premise of getting your friends into the game with you, and I've never really had that experience yet too. So it's probably even more fun that way. So
another good community play game. Perfect.
Which I was surprised that didn't go into Game Pass. I was actually thinking about that as a community play game, and then it didn't get announced for Game Pass, and I was a little disappointed, but maybe eventually. So
Yeah, right after everybody buys it for the community play.
yeah, I've already bought it, so I'm sure it'll be in Game Pass any day now. So
Man,
but yeah, it's fun though.
that's good stuff. Well, Chocolate's left us, and I wanted to...
Legend left us.
The Apex Legend has left, and I was going to move on to Apex Legends. How about Division 2 beta? Want to move to that next?
Yeah. You how much of this did you play, Risky?
I got through about 3 missions, so
Okay.
I didn't put a ton of time in. I was getting Delta errored for just, I don't know, every time I'd be playing a mission, I would get kicked out of it. This beta, at least I only tried on Thursday and then part of Friday, but it was a mess for me. I know a lot of people are having fun, and I think when it's working as intended, it's good. But
So see, I think I might have had a different experience because I didn't get into it till late Saturday, and by that time they had already patched it twice. So like, I have not gotten kicked once. So I think.
well, shit.
Yeah, I think when since I mean I didn't even mean to, like, I wanted to play it on Thursday but I couldn't, or Friday, and by the time I got to Saturday, like, I had already updated it twice by then. I'm like, okay, well maybe they'd had some problems, maybe it's better. But yeah, I have to say it has ran pretty good so far for me, in terms of, like I said, I haven't gotten kicked yet, but I'm a little bit further than you, but I like what they've done with that game. They've improved on a lot of stuff from the first one, and I think enough to where they're definitely. I could see myself being much more into this game much longer than I was the first one.
I was just about to say, does it feel like Division 2, or does it feel like Division 1.5?
That's tough to say because, I mean, you could argue 1.5 because if you had the first division in a different environment, it would feel like that game 100%. Not going to deny that, but I would say with how the changes they've made to the Dark Zone, the fact that there's PvP, and essentially they did what Destiny did, was Destiny made all these different things you could do, and they all reward you with gear. I think that is the blueprint for how to make those games work, is do enough different activities and enough dailies and weeklies to where, you're constantly being able to do different things and get rewarded for doing different things. And I still say too, Dark Zone, with the improvements they've made, that is so fun now. I mean, it was pretty good. It was pretty good in Division 1, but I feel like that is so fun to run around with a group in that and play around with that. So. And then, like, obviously we haven't seen what the raids are going to be, so there's that added on to it. So, yeah, this could be what Destiny 1 ended up being for me in terms of how much time I put into it, for sure. It's fun.
That's Chaotic, that's a really good question, but I think all of these types, like these games of service games, shouldn't have numbers attached to them at all, honestly.
100%, yeah.
Like, this could have just been The Division with no numbers whatsoever. And then this was just like the big second year update or something like that. Like, we're moving to a whole new area, something like that. That was
another thing I'm kind of concerned with this one. Do you think there's going to be any sort of hangover from obviously how many people got burned at the start of the first division? Because I know, like, when I first picked it up, I was like, thought this was going to be one of the games that I'd put in ridiculous amount of hours in, and within the first week, I think I'd sort of talked myself out of it. And it wasn't until I started seeing more about the the sort of the one with the frozen conditions that you got to try and keep yourself warm to survive.
Yeah.
Then the actual like the survival mode where it's like the extraction at the end and things like that, or the underground mode as well. So once they started adding things like that, I think it picked up a bit more of its fan base. But I just don't know if players are going to be a bit more hesitant to jump in it right away because how much they got burnt on the first one.
I think there's a lot of things that, whether lucky or not, works in their favor on this one, because it would appear thus far that Anthem is going to have a lukewarm reception when it launches. That probably only helps them, in terms of you have a game that's similar to yours launching without as much in-game content potentially as yours.
Mm-hmm.
That probably only helps them in that scenario. Also, they're not launching in the fall, in November. That's always, in my opinion, always a bonus for any game company, if you're not launching against every other major game. But yeah, I don't know. Just the fact that they're launching against another service or games as a service game that may not provide the same full package. I don't know. I feel like I'm harping on Anthem, and we haven't really seen the final product yet. But you guys know what I'm talking about, though, from the demo. I don't know. I mean, I'm one of those people, though, totally, that I beat the campaign in Division 1, and I never played it much after that at all. So, but this beta has really got me thinking like, oh, well, the Dark Zone's way better. Oh, I can do PvP. Oh, there's raids now. There's like, that alone is already more than the first game had going for it, So, but I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting you guys talk about like the whole putting a number on a games as a service, because I wonder if that's what they're doing with like Halo Infinite, because they talked about that new sequel when it ever eventually comes out being more games as a service, and they took the number right off Halo too. They just called it Halo Infinite. So I wonder if that's what they're going for. But
yeah, I think games like Fortnite and Overwatch, for example, have done it the best sort of way. Like all of their Season 6, Season 7 and things like that. It's not like they're bringing out new games. They've kept the same game, and all they do is they're adding content to it. So obviously, being the second one in the series, same with Destiny, you can't really do that anymore. But you're right, it could have been the sort of game where they could have just had it as The Division, and this is our Year 2 update or Year 2 tier system, or whatever they're going to plan.
yeah. Maybe that's the last area that like console games as a service could really like perfect, though, is just like, hey, drop the number, stop having these cut and dry endings, beginnings, because the biggest thing people said about going to Destiny 2 was, oh, it sucks that I don't get to keep my guy that I had 1,000+ hours on Destiny 1 with.
That's also their bad, because they straight up came out and told you you're going to be using the same character for 10 years.
10 years, so. Yeah. And I mean, nobody is under the illusion that it's going to be the same thing with Destiny 3 either.
Right.
So, yeah, I think maybe that's where companies need to be like, hey, look at Fortnite. 3 years from now, it'll still be Fortnite, and you'll still have all the accomplishments you had in that same game that you did a year ago, or however long you've been playing. So,
because a game like Division, you could obviously the first one was based in New York, this one's based in Washington. Like you could run it for a year based on loads of stuff to do with Washington,
totally.
And then say like Year 2, it's moving to Philadelphia, or Year 3, it's in Miami. Not maybe as short term as a year, but they could have it so that they don't need to worry about bringing out a new game. They just build on what the previous iteration of it was.
I completely agree, because then you're getting all of the, like, imagine if you were getting Division 2, but also all of Division 1's content was available in the same game for you. Like,
and I mean, I don't think anybody would really fault them for being like, hey, this is the big, like, let's say they do it in 3-year cycles. Like, you have a location for 2 years, and then the third year, it's like, okay, big new map, everything's new missions, new campaign, everything, it's going to be $60. And I don't think people would have a problem with that.
no, not at all.
Like, yeah, like, I don't know. So
see, the thing with that is,
really
though,
cool.
would you bring it out as a new game, or would you class it as an expansion?
I mean, you could phrase. I mean, theoretically, you could phrase it as a new game, but also at the same time being like, almost like MMOs do it. Like, hey, if you don't have the expansion, you can't play it. You can still play what's out right now, but I feel like what always happens with MMOs and what would happen with that is like you want to play the hot new thing that all your friends are going to. If you're still invested enough in that game. Like, how many people would really be like, oh, I love the Division, I'm still playing Division 1, I'm not going to pay $60 to play the new thing that everybody on Twitch is playing, that people that love the Division are playing,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's
I mean,
interesting.
a well-made game, regardless of age, you'll still want to play it when it comes like, so say like for example when Division 2 comes out 3 years time, it might not be, there might have been X amount of Call of Duties. I won't mention Battlefield with Trigger Doc, but
I'm actually back on to I didn't put Battlefield, but I'm actually back into Battlefield. They finally fixed my company coin only however many months after it came out.
So like in 3 years time, Division might have sort of faded away a little bit, but all it takes is one fresh input of life, and it'll bring the not just the hardcore players back. It'll bring like even the outside guests, because like what you were saying in Discord, Doc, about having one that's got you giving you the itch to run through and get your shields before Division 2 comes
Totally.
out. So
Totally,
something like
yeah.
even just the shield system that they added to Division 1 is enough to get people going back into the old game. To I think was it Kabowski that was on a couple of weeks ago that said he was doing the shields. He didn't want to buy it when it was in Game Pass, but it was enough to tempt him to play it whilst it was in Game Pass, so it was ready for the next one coming out.
Yeah.
If you had that for like a different area for the Division 2 version 3 or whatever it would be, then the amount of people that would jump in at it would be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, like, we're going to talk about Apex Legends here in a minute, though, but, like, you don't even have to have a big build-up to sell something as, like, a big new thing. Like, they didn't even advertise that game. It just came out. I mean, we talked about it last podcast on Saturday. We had just learned about it the day before. Turns out we were right. Like, all the rumors were true. But, like, they didn't advertise that game the slightest, and they had, what? I think they just said it the other day, over 10 million people have
10
played
million,
it now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure it was
So,
12
like-
million concurrent
so,
players
like,
or something.
Yeah, what if you're like playing a Division 2, like, 2 years from now in Washington D.C. The end game is still good, the raids are good, they're adding raids, all this stuff, and it's like 2 days later, it's like, hey, big announcement coming for the Division. We're moving to Philadelphia, or we're moving to San Francisco. Like, I think that would be, people would go nuts for that.
Yeah.
You just said
Like-
that, and I got goosebumps.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
yeah,
lie,
but
so
like,
did
can you
I.
imagine? Like, I mean, because if nothing else, like Apex Legend has proven, just like I think we all knew all along in these days, that with how social media and everything works, is I don't think you have to have a big run-up advertising campaign to really make a splash nowadays. If you have a good enough game with Twitch and Mixer and what those things are and what Twitter is, like it'll get popular if it's good enough. But
I mean,
Yeah.
that's definitely true. Like, for instance, my brother, who I was playing some Blackout with him recently, he's one of the people that, like, pretty much only plays Call of Duty. But I was in a party with him, and he was like, have you played that Apex game? And I was like, how do you even know about that? Like, you're just
Yeah.
plugged into your one game, but it's like once you see people on your friends list playing it, and I don't know,
Totally.
word gets
Yeah.
around to everybody, I feel like.
I mean,
And
I
think
think-
about that. They're getting all this money from that, and they didn't spend a penny to put it on like Doritos and Mountain Dew cans. Like think
Yeah.
about it. Like that has to
Yeah.
be the best turn on investment you've ever seen on an
The thing is,
advertising
you-
game.
Go one more on that. If you think about it, for the ones that are probably even more popular than that, what about Fortnite?
Yeah,
A game that was basically designed to be horde mode, essentially.
100%. That game
To
was in
then all of a
development
sudden-
forever, by the way, too. Like that game was in development hell forever, and yeah,
To all of a sudden becoming one of the highest grossing video games ever made. But that had there wasn't a big hype for, everybody's going to need to buy Fortnite day one.
yeah. It's like at one end you've got Apex Legend, Fortnite, and the other end you've got Destiny. What did they say their budget was back in the day for that? Like with Destiny 1, wasn't it like something crazy like 500 million or something?
Yeah, something stupid.
Yeah, I
like-
remember like they put that like Activision put that number out, and it's like, so you've got like that on one end and you've got this on the other. Like it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think both work, but
Yeah,
yeah.
as far as Division and like Anthem go, though, back to those, I think these types of games, like these MMO light kind of like games of service games, they're in a tough spot because they're not as like deep as actual MMOs, but the people
Right,
that are
right.
playing them want that much content. So like your expectations are just always going to be, you're never going to be able to meet them. I feel like with these games of service games, because when they start, they're pretty, like, there's not a ton of content. It's a journey that you're signing up for like the next few years. And I think that's tough for some people to wrap their heads around. Like, maybe you're only going to get 100 hours of Anthem under your belt in the first like 6 months, but then when something comes out, like, that's when you go back to it. I don't think people should expect to be playing Anthem for like 1,000 hours, or same thing with
Yeah,
Division,
yeah.
unless you really just love the
like
gameplay or
Dark Zone
whatever.
or PvP or something. Yeah.
Right, because you're going to get to a point where you have the best loot and you're playing the hardest content, but I just don't think
So-
people will ever be satisfied with the amount of content in those types of games.
So you bring up the other point I have about that then, Risky. We talked about how they should just drop the number and just give it a generic title name and just add on to that. So right now, the way people on console accept things is that we are used to, you have a game, even if it's a games as a service, you have a game, and then DLC comes out, you pay for DLC. With like Destiny 2, how much did that Forsaken, like the big, if you got the season pass and the DLC, how much did that cost again? Like,
So I think that was 60, and then the season pass was like another 30 or something.
yeah,
like
so that could theoretically be like $80 or $90.
Yeah, definitely.
So, like, how far are we away from people just being like, actually, I want to just pay $10 a month like an MMO, and you have a live team that's getting paid and getting content out more. Like, let's say if you were getting content out on a schedule like Fortnite does for its Battle Royale, but in, like, the Division. Do you think enough people would be okay with that?
I think that's tough for the casual, like it's a tough pill to swallow for the
Right.
casual gamer, like having to sign up for a subscription. But say you only end up playing the game for 3 months and it's a $10 subscription, like you just
You
have
save
3
money at that
months
point.
of pretty decent content for $30.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, my thing is like with how with how everybody nowadays is like used to Netflix, Hulu, all these different subscription services that we have in our everyday life. Maybe that might make a comeback on something like that, you know? Because like I feel like everybody's so conditioned now to be like, oh yeah, that's my Netflix monthly subscription. That's my, you know, name whatever other subscription you have, you know? Like, I
Right.
don't know. But we'll see.
But yeah, so overall, I thought the beta was good when I was actually able to play it. The guns feel like weightier, like they feel, I don't know, like the impact was higher, I guess, like the vibration in
Yeah.
my hands and all that stuff. Something about
Do
it
they-
felt great.
Do they have headshots in this one? As in
Yes,
proper headshots?
100%. Yes, 100%. Yeah, because like especially if you get a kill with a headshot, it makes like a little unique sound and stuff. And it's that I feel like those people are so good in those games at making like the like Pavlov's dog about like just that response that gets that satisfying sound in your brain, like. And I can't. I don't have a lot of good examples right now, but you guys know what I'm talking about with different games. Like I think Call of Duty does it pretty well too. Like they have their own little like weird sound
It's
or
just
whatever.
like smashing a pumpkin on the ground.
Yeah, but it's satisfying though.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
they have that in this, and it's like, yeah, I like that. So
Do they have the blood flying out the head?
He's back. The Apex Legends is
he
back.
he just got back from a win. He's another champion win racked up. So.
What's funny
The,
about
the
Chocolate
Enigma.
taking that little break is we have one more game to talk about, and he's like, oh, I can tell they're about to talk about Apex Legends. I better run back to the mic quick.
I managed to get the baby down.
Good.
She's a little blighter today. Blimey.
Chocolate, did you hop into the Division 2 beta at all?
Do you know what? No, I didn't.
Okay.
I, in the end, started playing Apex.
How else are you going to become legend?
so- Well, you know, they say legends are born. I disagree. We work hard, and we're a myth.
It gives me some confidence to start playing this game that if Chocolate can win as often as he has, then I'm bound to be good at it.
Listen, I've got 2 wins down, and I've only played the game, what, 3, 4 times? Or 3, 4 days?
I was super tempted to never play the game again after my first game was a win, but I couldn't because it's a good enough game where I'm like, no, I have to play more of this.
Oh, it is very addictive.
It is.
And
It is.
It cuts. It gives me what I quite enjoy in Fortnite, minus the building, because I can't build for anything.
So am I right in saying it's like a class-based battle royale with the gameplay of Fortnite?
No,
Yeah, so
I don't
go
know
on,
if it's even
go.
that though, because like it's first person, you know.
Yeah, so I've heard loads of people have kind of compared it to Overwatch, and I think that's slightly unfair because they've said it's PUBG, Overwatch, Fortnite kind of all rolled into one, where I think the kind of the class-based system is very much an underlying part of. It feels an underlined part of the game. I know with your abilities it can then change the game on its head, but it doesn't. To me, it's all about that gunplay and the the fast pace.
It kind of is such a no-brainer, but like I think most people would argue that Titanfall 2 probably had the best gunplay of any game this gen. So it turns out when you put it in a battle royale, it's really freaking fun to play. Turns out,
Yeah.
you know.
I was very disappointed you couldn't wall run, but
Or double
obviously,
jump.
or double jump. Yeah,
The
that
no
frust-
double
but-
jump seems a little weird. I agree. Like and like you can technically get up some pretty high walls, but it doesn't feel really good always. Or like I can always predict which walls I can maybe scale
But you
up
can
well.
climb walls. This is
To a
what I did. I
point,
found this
yeah.
out today. So certain walls you can climb
Holding
by
down
holding
A.
the jump button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that actually. Then okay.
I watched that today.
It just makes you like mantle up the wall a little higher. So places that,
so that-
look just out of reach, if you're holding down A, he actually like takes a few more steps up the wall and then grabs onto
See,
it.
now that's what I was talking about, but I still have found some walls where you can get up like 3/4 of the way, but just not quite the whole way with that little technique. And I'm like, I guess you just got to get better at recognizing like what the perfect height is, I guess. But
Yeah, well, I suppose then it all depends what gun you've got and whether you're playing a kind of a sniper.
yeah, it really does feel like they took the best parts of all these games and just like I would say it has more in common with. I would say it has almost little to nothing in common with like Fortnite, PUBG, and all those. Honestly, I think if anything, it feels more like Blackout, and I think I prefer the gunplay in this a little more than Blackout. And then I think with them taking because every guy has a passive, a left bumper, and an ult, and
Yes.
it's really smartly done because none of them seem overpowering, none of them seem OP, at least not really, you know. But they all are enough to where you can really start to like certain characters enough to where you're like, that's my main, that's my secondary, like. And that's the other cool thing is they make you have like a trio, like your primary, secondary, and tertiary characters because.
Oh, I love the picking. The
Yeah,
way
exactly.
They do the
Yeah,
picks.
that's super smart.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
So is it a loadout or is it like a loot system?
No, it's 100% battle royale where you pick up everything.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
now
Yeah.
every
It's just when
character
Chocolate
has
said
a
sniper.
Yeah, so like let's take one guy for example. Let me do what's the guy with the shield, the big Hawaiian dude. What's his
Gilgamesh
name?
or Gilgo something.
Something like that. Yeah. So his passive is that when he aims down his sight, he has like almost like a Blackbeard shield for his gun from like Rainbow Six. Like he just has that little smaller shield for his aim down sights. His left bumper is he puts up like a bubble, almost like a Titan bubble from Destiny, which is probably helpful to like revive people, stuff like that. And then his ult is I think he has something similar to Bangalore where he has like an artillery call.
Yeah,
in
it's
or
an
something.
airstrike.
Yeah.
Airstrike.
Yeah. So like, but that's how it works. And like your ultimate's constantly charging. If you get kills, it goes up faster. If you do damage, it goes up faster. Stuff like that.
If you pick up certain bits of loot, it
Yeah.
speeds up.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's smart how they did it because it doesn't necessarily feel like Overwatch, but it adds an extra layer to the battle royale game that I don't think they've really had till now, and it makes it to where that character selection screen means more.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like it's heavily based on Overwatch.
I would say that might be the only thing it really has in common. Like I said, this game feels much more like Call of Duty. I mean, it's not, which shouldn't be weird to say because Respawn was a Call of Duty studio back in the day. Like that. The gunplay feels very similar to that, and like the whole like crouching down, sliding down hills is fun. Like the
Oh yeah, I love that.
the robot with the grappling hook, like the movement's just so good, and I don't know, like we've said it all along about Blackout. I know, Risky, I've asked you several times, like, what if Blackout was free? Well, this was free, and it looks like it is really freaking catching on. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't.
But it's been. Sorry, Risky, go on.
No, I'll let you guys finish with all your positive stuff before I shit on this game.
Uh-oh. See, the last thing I was going to ask, I was like, Risky was really into Blackout. I wonder what he thinks of this game. Like,
So go on, Chocolate.
I find it amazing just how it was. So we mentioned it on the podcast last week. When did we record last week? Was it Saturday?
yeah.
Yeah. And we were like, it might drop. There's rumours. We're not too sure. And then it kind of just drops and explodes. And I think that instead of going for this like Anthem's done and Division are trying to do, kind of, hype, and push this hype for however long. They've kind of gone the other route of, there's the game, we're going to let you do the hype, we don't need to.
Yeah, you weren't here. We were literally talking about that same thing.
Oh,
How, like, this didn't need any type of campaign. Like, they just dropped it, and it was like 10 million players
Just blew
day
up.
one.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
yeah, it's like drop the
like,
mic situation, isn't it? It is just like, that is hot, I don't need to do no more, I'm out. It's
If you have a
It's
good product,
unreal.
you can literally
Yeah, I mean,
drop
that's
it
the
day one
thing.
and be done with it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna ask you guys what you thought about the. I've come around to it. I didn't know how I felt about not being able to solo at first, but I've come more around to it to where they have positioned this as a battle royale that is obviously it is meant to be a 3-player co-op battle royale, but like when you get in the gameplay and how it's not super feasible. Like I know there's plenty of clips out there on the internet. Like I took on 2 3-man teams and killed them all. Like yeah, you can do that, but this game isn't super feasible to have like a 1 versus 3 situation in these games to where you kind of
no,
need your team. Yeah.
You need to. I find I'm not the greatest player in the world, as much as I laugh and joke about being an Apex legend. you need that 2-on-1. You always need that extra person while you're taking someone else on, because I think that kind of 1v1 fight is so dragged out, and if that person's a little bit better with his abilities, or me personally, you're out straight away.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask to Risky, do you think the sound when you shoot someone is almost the identical sound to what it is in Blackout?
it's definitely not far off. Yeah,
It's very close. Yeah.
that is kind of funny. I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah,
Yeah, it's just that ching 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 ching, like you
like when you're tagging armor, it
firing-
kind of feels identical to tagging armor when you're
yeah.
playing
Yeah.
Blackout.
It totally does.
I love that. But anyway, go on. You hate on the game
No,
now.
so okay, I don't.
It's trash.
I don't have a lot of negative things to say about it. The pinging system and like this is the
Oh,
easiest
yeah.
way to play as a solo with a squad because of that pinging system and because of like the audio callouts in game once you ping
Yeah.
something. I love that pinging
Yeah.
system to death. I would put that in Blackout in a heartbeat. No fall damage. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Class
Yeah, that was
system.
smart.
It's well balanced as far as I can tell. Some people like Mirage for me is kind of like why? I don't know why anyone would pick Mirage because he kind of it's like a lone wolf class. I feel like everything that guy does would be like for a selfish player who's just worrying about himself. Kind of like he's not really helping the team at all. Like with his ult, just like escaping and blah blah.
Yeah.
When you have these other people that will like call in health or like put up beacons, put up shields for you.
Yeah.
So
Health.
yeah, the health. So he's not my favorite, but like all the other ones I think are great. They all have different uses. So I love the class system. The main issue I have with this game is maybe I'm confused if you guys haven't noticed this, but the weapon balancing in this game seems so off. There's about 3 weapons I think that I can pick up and feel confident, but I also need to be within like 10 feet of someone because it needs to be either a shotgun, the Peacekeeper specifically,
Yeah.
and the Wingman handgun. I feel like
Wingman's really good. Yeah.
holy hell, there's some overpowered weapons in this game, and if you don't pick them up, I felt like even if I had the drop on people and I was using like a normal AR, like the R301, I think it's called, or like the Hemlock, any of the ARs, which
Shooting BBs at him.
dude, literally, I'd be like, I'm pretty sure I put a whole clip on that guy, and then I get to the end screen, it's like, he did 70 damage. It's like, no, there's no way. I don't know. Some gun, I just want to be able to feel like any game or any gun that I pick up, I should be able to at least have a fair shot at winning a gunfight. But a lot of the weapons I pick up in this game, just nope. Like,
Do you think it's because they're wearing a different set of armor though? So when you're tagging people, obviously the armor, the color, the numbers pop up. And
Well, I was about to say,
it's
yeah, when you-
color specific to the armor that they've got, whether it's 1, 2, or 3.
right, and I don't think that even, I mean, I will say that's also a great addition, is shooting someone and knowing, or like getting the gold damage when you're hitting them in the head. I think it's gold.
Yeah.
But no, I don't even think it's that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only person who's noticing this. I know I've been playing with people who also think some of the stuff's broken, but if I don't have, like, it's those two weapons or an LMG, and I feel like I need an LMG because I don't have to reload, and that's the reason I'm picking up an LMG, and that just doesn't feel, I don't know, it doesn't feel great. I'll love to see what this game looks like after their first round of weapon balancing.
I was just about to say, like, I think you're absolutely dead on about all that. I think the weapons need to be patched for sure. I think there needs to be balancing done for sure.
Just
like
a lot of things
I would
need
argue
buffs.
right now, shotguns are OP as hell. Like, if you are within a certain range, like, and maybe that was intended, but like, if you go up against somebody with a shotgun and you don't have a shotgun, you better pray that you get lucky. Like,
Yeah.
because I don't know. My biggest gripe right now with it is that, unlike Call of Duty, to where you can pretty much look at somebody and tell right away what kind of armor they have on, this you have to either ping them or shoot them to get the color indicator. I kind of wish there was a better way to like look at somebody through a scope and be able to visually tell, you know.
Something,
Because
yeah.
maybe I don't want to snipe this guy if he's got purple armor versus white armor, you know, from like, because I'm already at a distance where I'm like, I can maybe kill him if he's got light armor, but if I can't tell without a shot, that kind of sucks, you know.
Like a purple shimmer or a
Something,
blue shimmer
yeah,
or
maybe just
something.
enough. But yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be so obvious to where it's easy to see somebody running across the map. But like, yeah, I feel like there needs to be something probably. But like back to you were saying, like I didn't even think, I forgot to mention the ping system. Like you can ping open doors. It's like we got an open door over here. Like they were so smart with how they did all that. Like
Do you... I have a funny story. So, I was playing with Shopa the other night, and so your ping system is on your RB, and we switched over to Blackout, where RB is your grenade button.
oh right.
The amount of times he was just like in a building trying to tag a weapon on the
Oh,
floor, and
no.
he'd throw a Semtex at his feet, just like
Oh no.
he'd be like, "Oh no, I did it again, and then you just see him running out of a building, and then it explodes. It's just, oh my god, it's so
Oh,
funny.
other positive thing. This has to be the best battle royale yet on console inventory screen with picking stuff up and putting stuff on and like organizing.
It's smart.
Like
Ju-
or like if you go up to a box and get stuff, like it's all color coded and it won't give it to you if it's less good or if it's better. It'll give it to you. Like it makes PUBG, which I love PUBG. Look, PUBG was never great on inventory, but it looks like archaic compared to this. Like
For me, that helps me so much
Yeah.
with the fact that, you know, you're picking up stuff and it'll have the kind of do not enter sign when you go in your infantry system if you don't need it.
totally, yeah. Like
It
super
speeds
smart.
up speeds me up so good. It's kind of as if they've, I don't want to say idiot proofed it, but they have gone
Pretty
to
close.
someone who's never played a battle royale game and gone, you know, you can just play it and you'll kind of more or less understand within the first hour.
Like it's so cool that they've got the system to where you could go up to, like, let's say you have a longbow and then a submachine gun, and you come up to where they both can have scopes, but you come up to like a 4x scope. Even if you have the submachine gun equipped and you pick that up, it will automatically put it on the longbow. That's smart. I mean, that's just really good game design at that point, you know. Like, I don't know. I can't say enough about how they've perfected a lot of that stuff about the game, you know.
Well, it keeps you in the game, playing the game, as opposed to faffing with your...
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, PUBG has been my top. If not, it'll probably be my second behind Apex now as far as the battle royale I prefer. But like, it makes that like pulling teeth, the inventory system on that.
Yeah, and I've been playing... I think I've only played with... I haven't even played with a full group of friends on comms yet. And the ping system, as we've mentioned, just helps you play with random people so much easier.
Well, that was my concern at
so
first,
much.
because it was like when we heard about this game and how it was trios only and not solo, I'm like, I don't want to talk to randos all the time. I'm only going to play this when I have a full group on. And we quickly learned it's like, actually, this ping system's really good. No, you can totally play solo without a microphone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, I don't know.
So, Risky, just out of interest, how many wins have you got?
4 at this point.
Oh, damn it. Got more than me. Right.
Yeah, that's all.
I got
I
the
just need to
first-
keep
yeah.
doubling up on you, and then I can stop playing until I hear you've gotten a couple more wins, and then I'll go back to it.
I just imagine Risky sitting down on the couch, picks up his phone, looks on Discord. It's like, oh, he's got 6 wins. Nope, can't have it. We're getting up. Let's go. Turn it on.
It was literally,
nope.
it was Saturday. It was last night, and when we got into the game, I was like, all right, I just need 2 wins, and then we can stop playing. We got our second win. We switched over to Blackout. We had a 5-win night. We had 3 in a row at one point.
Dang.
We were all just on, so
Oh,
it made
wow.
the Apex, I think, even easier for us than it had been before. Once you're kidding in Apex, I think that also makes a huge difference. Like when I had a weapon that had all the attachments and I had like good armor and everything, I felt unstoppable. So it's just a lot of the early fights where it's kind of like, well, I didn't pick up the right gun, so
Well,
I'm
there's
dead.
another thing that I think might be OP that I was going to ask how you guys felt about. So if you have better armor, your shield when you go to recharge your shields, they work faster. Do you think that's almost unfair at that point, or like how do you feel about that?
I didn't even know there was a thing. Like if you have
Yeah,
blue
so, like,
armor,
if-
it charges
So
faster?
if you have white armor, it takes longer to charge than if you had purple armor on with those little bitty charge kits or whatever. Yeah,
I
it
didn't even
100%
realize
does.
that. So
Like if
You
you
see
have
that-
on purple, it's like lightning fast how quick you recharge with those things.
But then that's pushing you to go and get the best loot, the best armor. So it's
Right,
actually,
yeah.
You can't necessarily do the PUBG type of, I'm going to be tactical, wait in this corner, I'm going to scope, I'm going to kind of, go always in and around the outside of the circle. That pushes you to push forward.
Yeah.
Constantly.
That's a really good point, Chocolate, because the one thing you could say about this is a Battle Royale game is it is as far from the whole... Because even in Fortnite, people do that, yeah, but you don't camp in this game. Yeah, you don't. And honestly, you don't really hug the edge of the circle that much either.
No, I think there's enough buildings in a shorter distance than any map I've seen. Not that I'm the guru of BR games, but there's enough kind of places to loot in a shorter distance so you can constantly move building one to the next set.
Yeah.
I was also going to say, have you noticed that when you go into each different area, it quickly flashes up that it's a high loot area
Yes,
or a low loot?
I like that a lot too, actually.
Fantastic. I landed in one place and I got what I assumed was all the best loot, and I'm like, got to remember this. And that was one of the wins I got that I posted on Discord.
Well, because if you look at the map too, it shows you where drop locations are too, like of extra stuff, and it'll highlight in a orange. I think it's orange. I can't remember circle where a high, because they call them like high loot areas, and that insinuates that there is everything you need to fully kit a gun or armor in that area. It's really smart.
it's doing a lot of things right. I agree with that 100%. There's a lot of stuff I would love to strip out of there and throw into Blackout.
Well, I still wonder, like, what do you think with let's say this game continues on its success and it just keeps getting like right now it's crushing Fortnite even on Twitch, it's 100,000 ahead of Fortnite right now on Twitch, and like, let's say it keeps this up for a few months, is it any more likely we get a Blackout standalone free to play that's not numbered next year?
I have no idea how they're going to handle the next BR iteration for Call of Duty. No idea.
Yeah.
I don't know
There's no way they'll ever make a free-to-play Blackout. No chance.
It's hard to imagine with how well this one did under a $60 title. Yeah, this last one.
right.
What? How they're bringing in the revenue? They're doing their tier system, aren't they?
Yeah, and you can. There's
it's like
a
the season,
cosmetic
yeah.
shop too, so you can always
Yeah.
buy stuff with the COD points.
So they're doing what they're doing is so with Apex they're doing 4 seasons in a year, and we'll assume it's $10 a year. That's $40. I don't know. It could.
Well, that's the other thing, is that we're heading into season 3 of Blackout, but that's not anything I've had to pay for. Like, we don't pay for the season
Yeah.
passes; it's just there. So it's like we paid our 60 up front instead of 10 every few months or whatever it is. So I mean,
I just think
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the pipe dream of like Call of Duty Battle Royale, and it just takes inspiration from every Call of Duty that ever came out, and it's just a ongoing service like Fortnite or this. It's just a dream.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
think
Like
it
for
would be so
this
cool.
third season, they're already like hinting at new locations that are going to drop. So I like that they're doing that like Fortnite, where they can just kind of like toss multiplayer maps that you're used to into it. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
So is that making the map bigger than in Blackout?
Not bigger.
or-
Just this next one looks like it's going to take up some of that giant desert area off to the east, where it's just kind of like wide
Okay.
open.
Oh yeah.
So
But no story to it then, whereas Fortnite would make some sort of...
right, not really that I've seen at least.
there's no giant cube popping up in Blackout on that island.
No. Well, okay, so no, there is one
rift
weird little
turns
thing
up.
that somebody recently found, like stakes, like they were gonna do, like
Sorry,
you were
what?
renovating something or about to like demolish a building. There's like stakes up all
Oh.
around out in the desert that are new, and somebody found like a sign that was a sign from a zombies map from Blackout 2 or Black Ops 2 or something like that. So there's like weird little Easter eggs that people are finding, and it's hinting towards
told-
what's coming up. So I guess it's, I don't know, some type of underlying story, but nothing like Fortnite where Santa's coming in on a biplane shooting with machine guns and shit like that. So
I feel dumb. I thought you were just saying that there were ribeyes lying around everywhere on the
Steak?
map.
Oh,
and that's
steaks.
something.
I thought you meant steak as well. I was like, oh, dinner for
like
two.
stakes in the
And then
ground with
shotgun
ropes
to the
and
face.
stuff.
I got a sirloin guy. This is I got a sirloin, guys. This is common loot. Where's the filet mignon that's purple?
The next great battle royale. Burger time battle
Can you
royale.
imagine? There's a good game in there somewhere like Cuisine. There was a game come out that was Cuisine Royale, but it was just a rip off of PUBG. But I got so excited
Jesus.
when I thought it was actually like almost like some sort of like like Hulu like Iron Chef type show with like battle royale. I was like, oh, what does that even mean? I was just so excited, and it's a PUBG rip off. I was like, lame. I don't know.
But yeah, either way, having a lot of fun with Apex, and I'll get back into it once I need to. Once Chocolate is ahead of me, once he pulls ahead of me and wins, I'll come back.
I might just keep hold of a few photos and then just
Ju-
drop them every time you get.
was
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say-
I'm above you. I'll be like another one.
Yeah,
And
he's gonna
another
say
one.
you went up.
And you're like, but you're away with the wife. It doesn't matter. Another one.
He's just gonna Photoshop like one day he went up 10 wins and Risky's gonna be like eating soup and he just spits it out everywhere and he's like, I gotta go hop on right now. What the hell? Like,
I'm calling work. I'm taking the next 3 days off. Got some work to do.
I got some work to do, son.
All right.
But Chaotic, you should jump in because it's so new. Everyone's still on that big learning curve. So I
Yeah.
think that's what I've missed with the other battle royales, not jumping in at the beginning to learn.
I might try and get in the next couple of days.
I feel completely incompetent in this game, and I feel pretty confident in most battle royales. So it's a great time to be alive.
They've definitely got some stuff to work on and iron out. Like you said, guns are not balanced right now, and a few other things, but it's got a lot of promise though for sure. So,
Hell yeah. Running smooth day one too. That was nice.
yeah.
All right. How about it's quiz time? You want to end on that, Chaotic? What is it's quiz time? We're gonna go out with a banger here.
It was actually one of my mates that suggested it to me, and the best way I can describe it is forgot the name of those games. Is it Jackbox that they do on it? Basically, you can sit in the house with your friends. It's all done on smartphones, so you download the app, you type in the room name, and it's just like a general knowledge quiz. The reason I put it in is for possible stream content. You can actually set it up as like a stream game and get your sort of audience invited into the game as well, and then compete against X amount of people online as well. It's all broadcast with its own setup, so whereas like you run Streamlabs and things like that to get it set up for how it looks on Mixer, this has actually got it integrated, so as soon as you click in to do a stream, it puts the whole layout on your Mixer stream.
Oh man.
So I haven't had a chance to actually jump on and do a stream in the game yet, but I thought I would give the base game a wee try out to see exactly how it ran. Brilliant idea, and the host on it is like, it's not just this generic sort of answering questions, it's fully interactive, so she'll call out your gamer tag, she'll speak your name, things like that, she'll throw insults at you if you do useless things, so it's actually as much as it is just it's a couch co-op party type thing where folk can just sit down, have a good laugh. Like the reason we played it is we had a couple of people over the other night, and it's a brilliant game for everybody to get involved in, because it doesn't matter your skill level. A lot of it's based on your age, so you put your age in it first, and like you can have specialist subjects like films that was released in 1989.
Mastermind type.
Yeah,
Huh.
like music from the 1980s, things like that. So there's no sort of set skill level. You don't need to be super intelligent. You don't need to have loads of general knowledge. It is literally just a game that everybody can put their 2 pennies worth in.
That's cool.
Sounds like
So
a
it's
good
quite-
community play game.
I was going to say, yeah,
thinking
it's
Hmm.
it's £15. I haven't seen it on sale since I knew about it, so I don't see it changing price anytime soon. But it's for £15. It's a really good game.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. The interactivity, like how it lays it all out on Mixer, sounds like that would actually be really smart and probably look really
Yeah.
good compared to other types of trivia things like that where you can have that many people interacting with it.
Yeah.
Cool idea. One last thing I want to talk about quick was I downloaded the OneCast app for my iPad. It's an app for you to stream your Xbox to an iPad. And I
Oh, wow.
I didn't know it was
Okay.
possible until I saw some article about it. I was like, all right, I'll download it. Works pretty well. So if you have an iPad,
Dang.
iPhone, or anything, it's you can just stream your Xbox to it. And I thought I'd give that a shout out.
So basically, like a second screen for in another room.
Yeah, pretty much. Like
Nice.
I think the Meg was watching something on Netflix, and I was just sitting on the couch, so I put up the tablet on our coffee table and just played it right there. So,
I think you may have just sold my missus on buying an iPad.
boom, sold.
Risky's like, no, I'm totally watching The Bachelor.
Yeah, I'm looking up their histories and backgrounds and stuff.
Yeah.
The interesting stuff.
I'm live tweeting it.
It's live tweeting the whole thing. I'm
With
gonna
your
kill
Xbox
myself.
controller? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Tweeting with
what
the
you can
Xbox
control an iPad
controller.
with.
all right. What do you say we move on to some news?
Double done.
My ear just got brutally murdered.
You're welcome. All right, Doc, what is up in the news this week?
All right. So it got leaked from an upcoming conference. I feel bad I didn't put this in now. I forgot the name of the conference, but it's the big conference where stuff always gets leaked every year by all the different big tech companies. It's not
GDC.
GDC. It's not actually not
Damn it.
GDC. It's I'll look it up here in a second. But basically, they had on their website a list of different talks and just various talks that different companies would be giving. And one of them kind of gave away a lot, I guess you could say. And one of them was basically titled "Bringing Xbox Live to Switch and like Android and iOS services," which obviously, if anybody that's into consoles, that's going to catch their eye on the website. And then it kind of got cemented when the next day, after it kind of made the news waves, it got taken down off the website. So seems like that's probably legit. So what you can read into the summary that was below the talk they were planning is that they have come out with a new platform XDK, so a new developer kit basically version, and it basically streamlines the ability for people putting games on iOS, Android, and Switch to integrate to Xbox Live, essentially incorporating friends list, clubs, achievements, everything like that. I guess my thing is risky with you having so many games on Switch and things like that, or I guess anybody really, like Chocolate 2 and me as well. Do you think this is something that would matter to you, or do you not really care if you can look at clubs or friends list and who's on and stuff like that?
See, I'm quite excited with the fact if they can do me playing, that's completely wrong English. If the system can let me, while I'm playing on my Switch, play with yourself on Xbox while we play whatever game, yeah, it will be unreal, and hopefully take away the fact that you've got to use some crappy app on your phone to talk to people via the Switch, which is the most rubbish thing I've ever heard. I'm quite excited, and also trying to get a few achievements on the Switch would be awesome.
Yeah, because it's like Minecraft had like the weird workaround where they updated it, but it was still kind of a weird workaround to log in with your Xbox account. But this seems much more streamlined, is what I'm taking from it that they're talking about. But
then also, this makes me think now, the whole Pally kind of tweeting thing that Xbox and Nintendo were doing, was it back in the summer? I want to say.
It was when everything went down with the sort of the cross-platform issues with Sony. It was roughly around that time.
So I'm just wondering whether that was kind of the start, or, you know, after the ink dried on maybe this is where they became Pally, and it's kind of a, oh, Sony, look, we're going to be now doing this, look.
something. Go ahead, Caddick.
I was going to say, do you ever see it in a world? It's probably nigh on impossible for it to happen. But do you ever see in a world was based on how Microsoft and Nintendo are behaving with each other and things like that, that there being first-party games crossing over between the two? So it would be a fool's dream to imagine it, but like Pokemon coming to the Xbox, Halo coming to a Nintendo console, or in some
Mario.
iteration, or
Mario on the Xbox. Oh my god!
I think Microsoft would be more into it. I don't know if Nintendo ever would, though.
Yeah, I mean, if you turn around and say to me, £60 can buy you Let's Go Pikachu on the Xbox, that would be me.
Yeah.
You could probably charge me 90 for that, and I would still go out and buy it.
On
you
both
listening,
platforms.
Nintendo?
Exactly. I mean, I doubt it'll ever happen. I mean, you might even see even smaller steps. So Master Chief being in Super Smash Brothers.
I think
along those lines.
something similar to that's going to happen, because Phil Spencer even hinted that Nintendo was asking for permission to put like Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Brothers, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm all for it. Go right ahead."
Yeah, I mean, I think Microsoft's pretty much open to anything that's going to improve their business, regardless of how it might edge off their product. Because like nobody wants to go first party. Like, they're not going to have Kratos coming in and doing anything, for example. But Microsoft seem to be so receptive to, yeah, that'll work. If you want to take one of our characters and give us more publicity
why not?
through putting one of our characters in, yeah, fire in.
Well, Phil Spencer seems to be a gamer's gamer, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's not a corporate man. He just wants to have a good time.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, everything he says seems to be what normal, in air quotes, gamer would want and say.
Yeah, or what somebody in his position would relatively want to get done, you know, as far as like, yeah, totally agree. Yeah, it's one of those things like, sure, why not have Xbox Live on the Switch? Why not? That'd be cool. Like, I wouldn't be against it.
Take it another step further. Again, not something you can see. Never mind even having games that cross over. Can you imagine Microsoft and Nintendo went together and did like a hybrid console?
Oh God, could you imagine? Hey, Sony Nintendo console almost happened, and then Sony came out with PlayStation instead. But
Exactly. So can you imagine it
Yeah.
got to that point where they just done, came up, this is what we're doing for the next generation?
could you imagine? Oh
God.
my gosh. Part of me just laughs because Chocolate brought up something I hadn't thought about, but like it just makes me laugh thinking that Nintendo has basically come to the realization. It's like, yeah, guys, we kind of screwed up on the whole online party chat thing, and we don't have achievements. Let's just farm that out to somebody that does it already.
Yeah, somebody who sort of nailed it first time.
Yeah, we kind of fudged this up with the app. It's just...
I don't know how you do that though. Whether it's anything to do with the battery or, you know, the capacity of the Switch.
What do you mean, like the...
What? Whether that implementing that potentially makes the Switch bigger because they have to stick something else in it. I mean, I'm not
I'm
technically
sure
gifted.
it's just operating system. You know, it's just the OS level stuff. I would assume.
But then, I don't.
The thing is, it can't be overly difficult because you think about it. You've got Discord that you can have audio chat in. Okay, so if you had something like that built into the Switch where you can still use It's
Oh,
not
trust
like
me. I've brought this up many times. I agree. Chaotic. I agree. I think
So it
Nintendo's
can't-
idiots.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't. It's not like it's going to have to make a massive difference in whatever it goes. I've got Discord on my phone, and I can use that as a thing. So it can't be overly difficult.
I mean, I think that's been the answer forever. Is like Nintendo's like, you got Discord, right? Yeah, let's just use that.
Well, that's what all the YouTubers who predominantly do Nintendo stuff just say. They talk about how bad the app is, and then go, but use Discord. It's so much easier.
Or get Discord on the Switch and just
Oh,
have it
get-
running
yeah.
in the background.
Yeah.
Oh God, could you imagine?
But anyway, so yeah, that might be something to look forward to in the future, like better incorporation to where you could have your clubs wherever you go on pretty much any system. Let's be honest, any system but Sony's. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
There'd be a spike in Switch sales, I think, with achievement hunters as well, if they can stack achievements. So it's a win-win.
I don't know if I would
situation.
expect a world where you would have achievements on anything Nintendo first party, but yeah, third party stuff, hell yeah. Like, why not, right? You know, like, I mean, and how much of a win-win is that? Before I'll move on, I don't want to drag on too long, but how much of a win-win is that for Microsoft? Is like you bought a third party game, let's say Gunman Clive, for instance, on the Switch, and you were playing, and all of a sudden it said you unlock these achievements, and then you're like, huh, I've got like a 1200 gamer score on Xbox now. Maybe I should check out an Xbox, or like
Well,
totally like a gateway drug at that point, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, totally. It as we said, it will go both ways. It's mind blowing what they could, and if they do it.
All I'm taking
that's
away
the thing.
is that I can poop and get achievements at the same time. Now, why wouldn't you want that?
I mean, it's
So
not
that's a
crazy.
double.
I mean, right now Minecraft on Switch gives you achievements, so
I gotta
You
go to
know,
the bathroom.
so
I'll be
we-
right back.
I got some gamer scoring to do.
Would you be timing that achievement sound just at the right
Obviously,
time?
yes.
Well, that's
Excellent.
something. Okay.
Only if it was a rare achievement.
All right, moving on. Microsoft is aiming at one AAA game per quarter. To quote Microsoft, this comes from a investors meeting recently about the Xbox division. Microsoft believes that its new studios will help it achieve a primary goal, and that goal is to deliver one AAA game per quarter 4 times a year in order to drive Xbox Game Pass. With that said, it does not want to rush its new studios into delivering games before they are fully baked, and believes that any acquisition takes time to get its legs. Its ideal acquisition targets have proven content and strong development teams. My takeaway from this is: do you guys want, let's say, 4 years from now, do you think this is possible?
Yes.
That they have enough studios now to where they could legit have a AAA game coming out every quarter?
I think the last time I was on, we sort of touched on this about how they could feasibly just go from E3 to E3 announcing this game will be out this year, this game will be out this year, and not have any, this is going to be out in 2 years' time, this is going to be out in 18 months. They literally could be 6 months' time, this game's coming out. 6 months, this is coming out. So if we've already touched on it, and we thought it was realistic the last time I was on, whenever that was, they must have quite a good idea of the roadmap that's going to be their next sort of
Right.
5-year, 10-year plan.
Right.
I think that if you drop the AAA part of it, it's definitely feasible. Like with some of their smaller
Yeah.
studios doing like smaller titles, I guess.
I
Sure.
agree with Risky. 'Cause
I don't think you're
it's
gonna
like
get
you wouldn't consider
Gears, Halo, Forza, and
exactly. Yeah.
whatever else.
But there you go, you
Like-
just named 3 AAA games that are taking up 3 quarters, and that's none of the new acquisitions.
That's also
But
you're
then again,
speaking
but like,
yearly there,
would
though.
would you consider State of K2 a AAA? I wouldn't, but I'd still love to have that come out in a quarter, though. You know, I mean, or what Ninja Theory does may not be quite. Like Hellblade wasn't considered AAA, but it would still be a big thing to come out, though. So
Because like you basically know every sort of third quarter you're getting a Forza, whether it be Motorsport or Horizon.
well, yeah.
So then
Go ahead.
that's
I don't know. I think there's enough in there for them to get one per quarter.
Yeah, they've
I don't
got
know
11
the longevity
well-
of
Did
it.
they not buy 11 studios? They've not got like something
Well-
like 11 studios bought now.
something we're not thinking about too that makes this even more feasible is a lot of those studios have bulked up. So like Playground Games is not only making a Forza Horizon every other year, they are also have a separate
Making
studio that's
Fable.
working on an open world RPG. So like, and like Rare has three different teams now. One Sea of Thieves and two are on unannounced first party titles. So a lot of their internal teams have also staffed up to do more than one project. Also,
Yeah, so it's
So-
more than capable to get that done if
yeah.
they keep with the same sort of drive as they have in the buy-in part of it.
Yeah, because it's a mixed bag. Because like you have Mojang who they're not coming out with a new game anytime soon. Their thing is Minecraft, and that's that. We get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Like you have these other studios that are like staffing up and are working on multiple projects at once. So
Like, do I think there's going to be a yearly Halo? No. Do I think
No.
there'll be a Halo every 2 years? Possibly.
well, and let's say Halo Infinite, them dropping the number and making that more as a games as a service. Maybe you don't even have to have that, and maybe let's say you have Halo Infinite out, and 2 years or in a year after it's out. Let's say we're due for another AAA game in a quarter. Let's just say it's just a massive, massive DLC for Halo Infinite.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's highly optimistic, but with the amount of studios that they've now bought, I mean, because that's what we're saying. They're not saying they're going to have to be. Oh no, they pretty much are saying they're going to be console exclusives based on the fact that they're pushing Game Pass. So I don't think it's totally impossible. They just have to go about it the same way or as aggressively as they have and get in the studios. The content has to follow.
I wanted to say that I don't think they said they're done buying studios.
I was
are
just
they?
about to say, Chocolate. Clobrile, who we quote a lot on here, said it expects them to buy 3 to 4 more studios this year.
So that's
And that just puts more.
15
Okay.
studios
Yep.
to buy.
And he wouldn't be shocked if it didn't end there. He's like, he basically said they're nowhere near ending that part of their that they're nowhere near ending acquisitions at this point.
I mean, I can only imagine what it's going to be like when the next generation of Xbox comes out. What it's going to be like day one, for example.
Well, it's super obvious too. Like, look at Game Pass. They are 100% going for what Netflix has in the movie business and TV business. 100%. Like,
Yeah.
that is what they are going for. They want Netflix originals to be what a game for Xbox first party is when it comes out on Game Pass. You know, they want their Bird Box equivalent. There you go. Whatever you want to say. Like, coming out this fall on Game Pass. What? Yeah, it's. I think it's totally feasible with how they're staffing up and multiple and studios are working on multiple projects. So, we'll see. Moving on. I was maybe thinking about passing this on to the legend himself, but I'll just kind of let him give his thoughts. Apex Legends crossplay is coming. Respawn confirms. In addition, Respawn's lead producer, Drew McCoy, confirmed in an interview with Eurogamer that Apex Legends crossplay for Apex... Wow, should have read this before. Apex Legends crossplay for Apex Legends is in the works, saying that the developer plans to allow players to play with their friends on other platforms at some point in the near future.
Yes, I can murder people on the Switch.
Or get killed by people on the PC. One or the other.
Most
Yeah.
likely that, and then we'll see how much. And here's the thing: with how popular Apex Legends is, maybe they could do what Fortnite did and bully Sony into allowing it. So
It would. I mean, trouble is now games have to go cross-play.
Yeah.
well, there's no
It's-
reason not to. Almost to, you know.
Well, it feels like almost that should be a no-brainer. The standard, especially big titles who have got some weight behind them. So I'm sure at some point they're going to have enough pull to to pull Sony across and say, yeah, this is happening. This needs to happen. Don't make us flick the switch accidentally. We'll do it.
That was so great looking back at that.
We'll do it.
Because if anything we've learned about the Sony crossplay quote unquote beta is that if you're a big enough game like Rocket League or Fortnite, you can make it work or make it happen. If you're not, probably ain't gonna happen. So
Yeah. It'll happen.
moving on, Vince Zampella of Respawn says more Titanfall is in the works for later this year, but that you should not expect a Titanfall 3 game anytime soon.
No.
I just read that as, don't worry, we have seasons 2, 3, and 4 of Apex Legends in the works.
Hey, you guys like Apex?
Right.
Getting more
like,
of it.
okay, it's not Titanfall 3, that doesn't have anything to do with Apex, like what it is. Like what is it?
See, I'd like to see. See, this just opens up so much more for the Apex Legends lore, so you will have a potential single player game flushing out the story of Hardline, or I can't even think of all their names. But that's the way to go forward, to get in a campaign, to give more lore to that,
That would be
to
kind
that
of cool.
game.
Yeah, totally.
Like get some backstory from the 8 heroes or whatever.
Yeah, and maybe you pick only 3 because you're always 3, so you dart around kind of a la Grand Theft Auto 5, jump around in each one of their stories and have it single player only.
or
God, someone sign me up.
it could be a card game like Hearthstone. What? Yay.
Oh god.
Who?
Can you imagine?
No card games, please. Don't make me do it.
They went from a super high to a super letdown, if that happens.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of letdowns, Activision Blizzard is reportedly planning massive layoffs because, guys, let's face it, 10 million active users on Apex Legends I'm talking about an EA game, sorry, never mind. Blackout just didn't do well enough, guys, with all the millions they sold. It just didn't quite make the mark, so we're having to let you off.
Well, no, what they're doing is they're just letting off everyone that wasn't working on Blackout. Just every other part of the game, we're just going to let everybody go.
Everybody's expendable but Blackout team. Yeah, that's... I don't know. It's one thing when you see like companies that games don't pan out well having layoffs. It's another thing when it's like Activision Blizzard. Like you think of WoW, you think of Blackout, you think of all these super successful money making games. Hearthstone, like I don't play it, but it makes a lot of money. I've heard. Like, kind of crazy that they're having massive layoffs.
Didn't they change the top few guys in over the course of the last, I want to say, maybe 4 or 5 months?
I think Mellify might be able to speak to this more, but I think they did at Blizzard. I want to say for sure.
Yeah, there was some change around, wasn't there?
I think Activision, you're right. I think Activision's head guy also or I think he retired or something. I don't know how they worded it, but he left. Yeah.
He was told, don't let the door hit him on the...
I don't know.
But yeah, there's been some switch arounds, hasn't there? And one from one company's gone over to run the other one, and yeah, it's not good when people lose their jobs.
It's not, and it's just weird for a company that, for what it's worth, seems to financially be doing very well. But
yeah, but profit margins are profit margins, Doc, and they need to be a sizable.
I mean, if Call of Duty had sold 30 million, if I'm a CEO, that's at least 12 more weeks of yacht maintenance, versus 15 weeks of yacht maintenance, which is 20 million. So
I'm just trying to think what games these companies had that
don't do bonkers
that
well.
weren't well
yeah,
received
me
in
too.
the last few years. Like everyone buys Call of Duty and or even like Destiny 2. Everybody bought Destiny 2. Maybe the expansions and shit didn't pan out so well,
Fell
but
short. Maybe WoW's kind of drying up a little bit. I know the last expansion wasn't super well received, so maybe their numbers have dipped on that. Maybe, but I feel like it's different when you have a company that's doing crazy good and they step down to just pretty darn good. Having layoffs versus here's a company that we're not meeting the budgets. We're having layoffs because we have to. We're not selling this game. Activision just seems like they went from doing exceptionally well to just very well.
and
on certain titles.
Blizzard, their last actual game that came out would be Overwatch, not including expansions, obviously, but so they're not even putting out new
and that
games.
has loot boxes, and those sell, I'm sure.
Right? I don't know. Not great either way.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. EA is working on a new Need for Speed and Plants vs. Zombie games. I'm excited for the latter part of that. So, you guys want a new Need for Speed?
If they remake Underground 2, then yes.
I could get behind that. Yeah. That last one, I never played it, but I heard it was junk.
And with Plants vs. Zombies, I don't like the Garden Warfare, the third-person shooter ones. I don't like those as much as I like the old, phone ones.
I like the mobile game a lot, actually. Yeah,
those are a ton of fun.
They were. I put a lot of hours.
I didn't enjoy the third-person hero class shooter as much.
They basically made like a Battlefield version of Plant vs
Yeah.
Zombies, which I like. Props to trying something new, and I don't know. I will say for what it's worth, I have a few friends that totally got
I
into
would say
those,
I've
but
definitely heard people that enjoy
I was not
it,
one of
but
them.
it's not me.
yeah, not me either.
I was one
There
of
you go.
those people.
We found
It's
one.
like you all are assholes. It's the best game ever, and Plants vs
Hello,
Zombies
Game
3.
of the
Can't
Year.
wait.
But yeah, I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I don't know if there's too much. There is a lot of kind of that genre of game. Not obviously the Plants vs Zombies, but there's a lot of team-based shooters. I don't know if they're going to break or sell enough copies for it to be
You
worth
don't know
it.
if the game
Yeah.
that focuses on plants and zombies is going to break games like Overwatch and Rainbow Six Siege? Are you sure?
But
Let's wait till it releases if it gets Apex numbers. I'm not. Jury's still out. So
yeah, and I don't know if I can call myself a zombie legend or a plant legend. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on.
it's your new Discord name. It's going to be that before we even get back in there.
Yeah.
All right.
PVZ legend.
PvZ Legends. EA partially blames weak Battlefield 5 sales on prioritizing a campaign over Battle Royale. Real
If
quick.
ever there was an award for the most no shit Sherlock statement of the year,
I'm going to add to this, though. I think they're right. I would also add, hey, don't release a broken-ass game like you did with Battlefield 4 and 1. Like, come
The thing is,
on.
had they released a broken ass game with a battle royale, it would have sold better still.
100 also true. Yep, agreed.
I think it was their first trailer that screwed them up, didn't it? It was poorly received.
They handled the PR. You could say the PR was handled bad, no, and I agree that it was. I still think I would be playing. I mean, I'm back into playing it now, but like, so you have me, for instance. Nobody was more pumped about that game. Get the game, reach level 50, and for 4 months now, I could not unlock a single thing in that game because my company coin was broken, and I was among thousands of others who it just didn't work for. And that sucks. Like, and it sucks that it took that long to fix it. Like, I logged. So here's how this happened for me. Then I found out it was fixed. I had 400 company coin for 4 months. I logged in the other day. I had 35,000. So they fixed it, guys. They fixed it. Turns out.
Wow.
So
That's nuts.
yeah,
That's a lot.
all those times I hit level
And,
50 after 50, which I should have been getting 1,000 points, finally came through. So
So I'm back in.
so I'm back in, yeah. And I bought everything left to buy. But anyways, I think there's a couple other things about this, though, with how big Apex Legends is. So that's also EA owned. Also free is Battlefield Battle Royale, like their Battle Royale mode. I'm assuming it will not be free. You'll still have to buy Battlefield 5.
Yeah, definitely. At least to start.
And it's going to come out relatively soon, kind of competing with Apex. It seems like they kind of shut themselves in the foot
Competing
again.
with Apex and Anthem and the Division and every other game, nobody's gonna care about this
Yeah.
battle royale game. Like,
I mean, it might be good, but like, how much of a chance is it going to have if it's A, not free, and B, you already have Apex out?
Well, I was saying when we talked about it last time that it'd have to be something special to beat Blackout, and now, as we've just said, they've got Apex out. They are going to have to bring quite literally hot fire, and that Ring of Fire is not going to do it. They are going to have to be
And-
on point to even touch, I think, the player
that's
base.
the big thing for me though. Is like every battle royale that's come out so far seems like it's offered something different. Especially with like Apex, Fortnite, and Blackout, all feel vastly different. And then PUBG, I think, is like the
Yeah.
most maybe strategical, or I don't know. I don't really know what word to put on it, but they all feel different enough. But this feels like it's going to kind of be like a weird blend of either being like Blackout or being like PUBG or somewhere in between
I
those
think it'll
two, where it's
be-
like I'm going to play either PUBG or I'm going to play Blackout. Then like I don't know.
I think it's going to be a refined version of PUBG. I think it's going to look like PUBG with the guns and the island
that's-
and everything.
that's
But
my
I think
train of
it'll be
thought.
just really refined.
But it's going to be stupid World War II weapons. Nobody's want to play that anyway.
See, and here's the thing. I love all that. I am a big history nerd. I love all that. Nothing more than do I want to have a game like that, but I don't know how much of a chance it has if it's not free. I don't.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know. So, but anyways, EA coming to some no shit Sherlock moments there at their investors
I
call.
think Chaotic nailed it with that.
Yeah, pretty exactly. You did. That was. I think Chaotic was on that conference call and said that. So. Anyways, moving on. Last bit of news here. I'm really excited for this, and I have to feel like there's a few other people out there. Skybound and Beamdog are bringing Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and Neverwinter's Nights to console. I'm not gonna lie. When I read this on Reddit the other day, I audibly yelled out a hell yes, and my wife asked me what was wrong. So
I've never played any of
I'm
these
excited.
games.
You can burn it all.
I won't make a comment then.
And Chaotic.
Yeah, I'm staying out of Doctor
Okay, well,
At least you're
You guys
excited,
suck.
Doc. We're excited that you're excited.
And here's the bad thing: is normally I would say to pick these up and play them, but unless you have the nostalgia for them, they are probably a little hard to go back to compared to modern games.
These are just
so.
CRPGs, right?
Yeah, think of what's Obsidian's last two games?
Pillars?
Pillars of Eternity. Think of that. Yeah, totally.
Yep, pass.
Well, F you. All right, that's it for
So
news.
the last game you were overexcited about was Battlefield, so
This probably won't work at launch.
yeah.
At least it worked at one point on a computer.
Or 4 months later, I'll have a ton of money to buy on loot boxes free, just piled up.
Your
so
Baldur's Gate
one
loot
or the other.
boxes.
Yeah, one or the other.
Oh.
Well, good for you, Doc. We're all very excited for you.
Hate you all so much.
All right, that was the news for the week. Let's get into new games that are coming out. Chaotic, take it away.
Busy month this month, just judging by the list. So we've got Jump Force coming out on the 15th. Possibly sneaky contender for one of my games of the year.
I was saying, will you
simply
talk about what that is quick?
I believe it has Annie Mom
Yeah.
in it.
It does. It has quite a few of the characters that you will all be familiar with when you start up your anime podcasts.
I can't wait, by the way.
It just looks...
It's Horror on it.
Oh
You
my
definitely
God.
just made some noises into your mic. That was it.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
totally confused by that. Jump Force, quite an interesting idea. Obviously, your Jump Force is like a group of superheroes up against various different villains throughout the course of different mangas and anime stories. Personally, any game that you get to play as Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Cell, I'm down to play, so I'm quite happy with that one.
You'd be proud of me, Chaotic. I'm pretty far into Dragon Ball Kai, so I'm getting more familiar with
God.
those characters.
So all you've basically done is you've watched the episode where they don't scream for 3.5 episodes before they start fighting.
Yeah, it's kind of why I picked that one.
Yeah, fair one. 26.5 years after it was announced, Crackdown 3 is finally coming out.
Actually, I'm going to be playing a beta of the Wrecking Zone here after this podcast. They're doing
nice.
one last test, so I might be able to.
Nope.
Well, I guess never mind. It'll be out. Will it be out by our next podcast?
15th it comes out, I'm sure.
Yes, it will. So never mind. So it's not really newsworthy then. Go on.
Metro Exodus coming out as well. Far Cry New Dawn. And then the very convoluted Anthem system. So if you are...
Get out your spreadsheets, boys.
If you're an Origin Access Premium member, you get the full game. If you're an Origin Access member, you get a 10-hour trial. And if you're an EA Access member, you get a 10-hour trial.
But what if I just bought the game?
Then
You
you
can-
have to wait another,
You can go eat
another
garbage.
2 weeks. So not this weekend, but next weekend when the full release is
Next
out
weekend,
on
that's
the
okay.
22nd.
I'm so glad I'm an EA
too.
Access member. Woohoo.
I didn't put this in the news, but there was rumors that later this year they're going to be adding Premiere to the Xbox to where you'll have access or Premiere to choose from.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
What do you get then for...
So Premiere is
Sorry,
like
Mr.
Game Pass in the sense that all the new EA games are immediately playable to you for free if you have that. Well, for free if you're a member of that service. But it is a higher tier version of EA Access, so you'd have to pay more monthly.
Do you know how much it costs?
Okay.
Like, is it Game Pass pricing?
It's 15, I think, on the PC. I'll have to double check though. I'm pretty sure it's 15.
So what's
Let
that?
me look that up.
£12 more than it is on. So £12 more than what Access would be just now.
Yeah, you guys go ahead. I'll look that up.
So that's kind of high. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. This seems like something where I'd be
just-
like, all right, well, I'm going to sign up for a month of Origin Access Premier just so I can play this a week early, because that's still $15 for a week early. I don't know if that's really worth it. So
Yeah,
And
so it's
to be
$14.99 a month or $99 a year on PC.
Okay.
So it's £100 for £100 for a year. So you think about it. If you take FIFA and Madden, 2 games that you know are coming out every year for EA, you're more than what that £100 would be.
what if I
Yeah.
don't play
Yeah.
either of those games?
Well, they
How dare you?
obviously, but yes, it does
You
seem.
need to start getting some practice in and start playing some FIFA.
Yeah.
'Cause that's our
That
next
league team isn't
community
going to
play.
build itself, Risky. You got to open those packs.
All right, fine.
Yeah. You gotta drop those
Great.
dollars.
My favorite thing to do.
Just not in Belgium.
And
Just not in Belgium.
then for the Game Pass games for February, you've got Shadow of the Tomb Raider, D-Blob, or D-Blob, or whatever it happens to be, the not-so-bitter Batman Return to Arkham series, Pumped BMX Pro.
I'm
Can't
looking
do-
forward to this.
I
actually did look
started having a
fun,
look
by
at the
the way.
first one the other day.
Is it like it's like Trials,
Um,
right?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, physics-based
BMX.
BMX
That's
type
cool.
game, yeah.
It looked hilarious, yeah.
Crackdown 3, The Walking Dead Season 1 for all you Telltale lovers. And
Rip.
apparently there's more to come as the month goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely gotten in the habit of the Twitter account, which I highly recommend anybody follow the Game Pass Twitter account. It is spitting fire daily. Love it. But they've gotten in the habit of basically they'll kind of premiere 6 games at the beginning of the month coming out, and they'll release like 3 or 4 additional as the month goes on.
So we'll keep you up to date on all of that.
So you don't spend £55 trying to buy a series that comes out.
Oh god,
So rough, so rough.
it's unfortunate.
How much did you play and couldn't you ask for a refund?
No, because I was about 8 hours in when I heard out of it.
Yeah. Was it like 2 hours is the limit?
2
they allow or
hours, 2
something like
weeks,
that? 3
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is, yeah.
Oh, so
Unfortunate.
That sucks.
For sure.
that's a kick in the nuts twice. That is.
It's like I love Game Pass, but it also kind of, it gives you a little low blow every once in a while.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of low blows, that's gonna do it
Okay.
for this episode. So
Never mind.
let's get to plugging it up. Head on over to crossatlanticgaming.com to follow us in all the different ways. Discord is where we all hang out every single day. All sorts of channels for all sorts of stuff. We currently have Anthem and Division channels up where people are talking about all that stuff, getting hyped up for those games. We're all there daily, so come hang out. Link for that is in the show notes and on the website. If you'd like to support us with your hard-earned money, head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast, and maybe you can get lucky like Viva Le Sweeney and win yourself a game.
Again. Second time.
What the heck?
Chocolate's pretty
We need
happy
more
for him.
people in there so we can knock him out.
He doesn't win.
I think the Discord's slowly getting infected by Sea of Thieves, which makes me happy because Kate and Chester was playing it the other day. So, Sea of Thieves.
It's not getting its own channel, Doc.
I mean,
Never gonna happen.
I'm just saying. Throwing it out there.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CAG Podcast. And then lastly, cagpodcast at gmail.com if you need to reach out to us via email for whatever reason. Our monthly mailbag episode is not next episode, but the episode after that. So you can get your questions in for that through the email, or we have a channel for it on Discord. So join us on Discord. That's really all you should be doing.
Come to Discord.
If you'd like to get in contact with me, I'm at Risky the Kid everywhere. Doc,
Doc H1H1
Chocolate.
everywhere.
I'm Chocolate80 everywhere. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Twitch at Cross Atlantic Gaming.
do that too. And Chaotic.
Chaotic UI everywhere that matters.
All right, Chaotic. Thanks for being on the show again.
Thanks for having me again, guys.
Enjoy having you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all new episode. Goodbye.
I'm still an Apex legend. Because of you, Moose, I got a free copy of Gunman Clive to give away. Oh shit, we forgot to do the giveaway for Gunman Clive.
There's our bloopers right there.
Mother stick a bike horn in that. Bike horn.
So,
Blech.
was it just a code? How are you actually giving it away?
Yeah. So we're going to decide this
So why
now.
don't you just read the code, and if whoever listens to the podcast first and wants it can have it.
That is an
Let
even
me
better
pull
idea.
my
Give
Xbox
me
here
2
real quick.
seconds.
Okay, read the code when you're ready.
Is it on Switch or
hang on.
Xbox?
Switch. So, right, ready? This is for, you must have a US account to redeem this game. And for everyone else who's listening, just make a US account and then you can still play it on your normal account. Here we go. Charlie 0 1 Golf 7 Tango Charlie Hotel X-ray Hotel 8 Delta Bravo 1 2 Whiskey. I'm not going to say it again.
I like it. That'll work.
All right.
Wrap it up.
Free game, Gunman
Can't wait for
Clive.
that
Pew, pew,
person
pow,
to
pow.
download it and be like, "This is what I got."
The game is awesome. I'm on the fourth world now. I've almost completed the game.
I'm
That
on
will
the
be my
fourth
first
world.
Switch
I
game
almost
I complete.
completed the game. Great.
Yeah, there's only
I don't
5
think
worlds.
it had a more generic.
There's only 5 worlds. I'm on the second to last world. That'll be the first game I complete on the Switch, and I'm going to
Like,
rub
that's-
it in Moose's
Oh my
face.
God.